And I want to discuss with you all today. We're going to be reading from my book Necessary. Today is the 11th, and you all know around this time is when I like to spend some time on the 11th of the month to read from Necessary. But I really want to have a talk with you all about are you walking in wisdom, and what does that look like? Are you actually walking in wisdom, and how do you know if you're actually walking in wisdom? So I'm coming at you guys a little hard today because I'm going to be challenging you on some things. And hopefully later today, I'll be meeting some of you all at noon when I have my meeting at noon. For those who are looking to join the webinar, which I'll talk about that a little bit later, just to learn a little bit more about the services and things. But if you all have your books, I want everyone to go grab your books really quickly, and I want everyone grab your book Necessary and turn over to chapter 15. I want to talk to you all about the price of elevation. So let me just make sure everyone can see me real quickly. Hi, I see some people coming on in. I have a question for you guys in just a minute, as soon as I can recognize and make sure that everyone can hear me. Can everyone hear me? So I don't know if you all listened to the podcast that I put up earlier today. You know what, let's do this. Let's start reading a little bit from Necessary first and foremost. And then I'm going to talk to you all about a scenario I want you all to think about. So everybody go grab your books first. Let's do this first. We're going to read chapter 15, and this is an affirmation called The Price of Elevation. So let me all know if you have your books. For those of you who don't have your book, you can always go to my website at unlockinggreatness.com, and you can get the audiobook for whatever you want to get it for. Or you can go to the site and order the book or get it on Amazon. But let's read a little bit from chapter 15. And let's start off with the affirmation, which is the price of elevation. And this is going to go into what I want to talk to you all about. Because I put up a podcast earlier this morning, very, very strong podcast about, are you checking under the hood? And the whole point of that podcast was about, are you really walking in wisdom? And how do you know when you're walking in wisdom? So I want to have a really good conversation with you all about that. But who has their book? Do you all have your book? And turn over to page, I think it's page 200. No, it's page 175. Do you all have your book? I see someone saying yes. Gloria says, good morning, Z. Okay, someone says good morning. Do you all have your book? Make sure you have it out. So let's read the affirmation from Necessary. And then I want to have a conversation with you all. So the affirmation on chapter 15 is called The Price of Elevation. Again, it's called The Price of Elevation. And it starts off by saying, I can't stay in this familiar territory where stagnation has become the norm. I must pay the price of elevation by allowing God to detach what is no longer needed for my next level. I can't stay in this familiar territory. I was created for so much more. I was created for more than what my eyes currently see. I was created to thrive and achieve what may seem impossible to others. Do you hear that? Do you hear that sound from above? It is the sound of our victories that have already been won. It is the sound, baby, of elevation. Now, that's just the affirmation. I'm going to pause a moment. I see a lot of new people joining in. I may end up having to read that again. But I want to talk to you all just a little bit about a podcast that I put up earlier this morning. I put up a podcast this morning called, I think the title was, it may have said something about when was the last time you checked under the hood. And this is something, thank you, Leanne. Thank you, baby. This is something that God put in my heart this morning. So I'm coming at you guys a little strong, so be prepared for what I'm about to say. Imagine a car is driving down the road. And have you ever seen a beautiful car? I mean, all decked out. The rims are nice. It's absolutely beautiful. The paint job is beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And have you ever seen a beautiful car stuck on the side of the road? You ever seen a car that's literally pulled over to the side of the road? It's stuck. Something happened. You ever seen that? And what I noticed with that is it doesn't matter. I'm going somewhere with this because I'm talking about professional and entrepreneur development, by the way. That's sort of the subject matter we're going with. It does not matter how beautiful the car is if you haven't checked under the hood to make sure that it has what it needs to get you to your destination. That was the whole point of that podcast episode I put up this morning. Now, let me hit you a little hard with this thought. Many of us, and I've been in these shoes myself, baby, so please don't think I'm in judgment, but I'm speaking from experience. Many of us have been so focused on the end destination trying to get to where we're trying to go, whether it's entrepreneur or maybe a personal development, dream or something like that, a goal or whatever. And I need you guys to listen very carefully. This is very important. Many of us are so focused on getting to that point on the highway going 100 doggone miles an hour. And you guys know I'm not making that up. Speeding and going 100 miles an hour because you got to get to that point. You got to get that result, or you got to get that money right, or you got to do this, or you got to do that. But you didn't spend enough time to prepare for the journey. Didn't spend enough time looking under the hood. Some of you are on that highway driving that car, and I'm going somewhere with this, so just follow me. Some of you are on that highway driving that car, full speed ahead, and you didn't even check to see if you have enough oil in the car. Thank you for the rose, baby. Didn't even check the windshield wiper fluid. And you're wondering why the window's a little foggy, right? And you can't quite see out of it. But you're on that highway and you driving, right? Hope you all are picking up what I'm laying down. Didn't check the air pressure in the tire. And you've been driving for hundreds of miles. Didn't check the transmission, right? Because it seemed to be working okay. It got you this far. I don't see why it should stop working. I know I'm touching somebody. You guys should be understanding what I'm saying. This morning when I was sitting and reading my Bible and praying, and I had a pretty tough weekend, by the way. For those who know me personally, you guys know some things that happened over the weekend. And thank God that situation worked itself out. But this morning when I was sitting and praying, God literally stopped me in my tracks, and said, you got to put a podcast up right now about this. And he literally put in my heart, so many of them are out there running, going 100 miles an hour, and no one's taking the time to check to see what's under the hood. And what I mean by that, and you all know where I'm going. Baby, if you're trying to focus on trying to get to this goal or this dream or whatever it is, and you out there just doing your best going 100 miles an hour on the road, and you don't take that time to get that personal development, and I'm going to throw in there spiritual development as well. I'm going to throw that in there as well. You don't take that time to get that help that you need, that guidance, right? You're going to find yourself, and I know this from experience. I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking from judgment. If anyone knows me, you all know I love each and every last one of you. I can't help it. That's how God made me. God knows I love each and every last one of you. But many of you are out there trying to be your own doggone mechanics. That's one of the things that God put in my heart. Trying to be your own mechanics. Trying to be your own mechanics. And you may say, well, Z, where in the world are you going with this? I thought we were going to be reading from the book Necessary today. We're going to get back to the book in a minute. All of this relates. Let me explain what I say about trying to be your own mechanics. Because I think we greatly undervalue, and I've been guilty of this myself, so I'm speaking from experience. Let me be extremely clear. I've been very guilty of this. Because the focus is so much on the end goal where I'm trying to get, and I'm really talking to all of you entrepreneurs out there. For those of you who've been trying to get a business off the ground and for whatever reason you find yourself going in circles, right? I'm really talking to you as well. For those of you who are trying to get out there and do those things, if you don't take the time to get that spiritual development, and what I mean by that prayer time with God, getting in your word, understanding the pattern that you're in at this stage in your life, you're in a pattern whether you realize it or not. You just don't know it, but you actually are already in a pattern. But let me stick to the car example. Many of us are out there and you're running and you're running and you're running, and you're trying to get to that goal going 100 miles an hour, and you really don't understand. The major work occurs inside of the car, not outside. You've got to take that time to make sure your mindset is right, your thought patterns are right. You understand what you're here for. You understand what you're aiming for. You've worked on your insecurities, and I know some of you are not going to admit that there's some insecurities there because most people don't want to admit that, right? But you've not worked on all of those things, and then you wonder what all of these goals that you're trying to accomplish. You wonder why, and again, I'm speaking from experience because I love you. You wonder why. Why are the results not looking like what I was hoping for? Why do I keep changing my mind? Why do I keep pivoting all the time? What is going on that I tend to go in circles? What is going on that the results are not looking like what it needs to look like? And what that looks like in terms of the car example, for those who are just joining, I talked about a car on a highway going 100 miles an hour. That looks like you have the best intentions in the world, baby. The best intentions in the world. And I know many of you do. I know you do. But when you don't take time to get that car ready for that drive, and I'm talking about your mindset, your necessary, but I want you guys to listen to this. In Luke chapter 7 and verse 35, it says, but wisdom is proved right by all her children. Now I'm gonna see who can pick that up a little bit. Hold on a second. I think I lost my sound on my YouTube. Uh-oh. Okay, hopefully it's back now. I don't see any comments coming through, but hopefully you guys can see me. My YouTube seems to be frozen. But anyway, in Luke chapter 7, in verse 35, it says, but wisdom is proved right by all her children. I want you all to let me know what you think about that passage. Wisdom is proved right by all her children. So here's what I want each of you all to take just a moment to do. Look at the results that's in your life right now. Have an honest self-evaluation with yourself right now. Just take a moment to do that. We're going to go back to reading in here just a minute, because for today's reading, it's in chapter 15, which is called The Price of Elevation. So we're going to go back to reading this in a minute. But I want you all to do what I had to do over the weekend, and it was not a comfortable thing to do, you guys. It was not comfortable at all. Someone says the video is out. I don't know what's going on with my YouTube right now, so I apologize. Something's going on my YouTube channel. I don't know if I got to start it back over again. But anyway, let's just pray that it comes back. On my YouTube, you all can just let me know if it picks back up or if I have to start it back over again, because I don't know why it's pausing, so I apologize. You may have to jump to my Instagram or my Facebook or my TikTok, so I apologize. But anyway, it says, but wisdom is proof right, and it says, look at the children. So what we're supposed to do is have an honest evaluation and look at our lives right now. So I want you all to just take a look at your life right now. Look at every area of your life. Look at your spiritual walk. So your prayer life, your word study, and ask yourself, have I been walking in wisdom? Am I satisfied with these results? Ask yourself that question right now. Now, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, business owners, those of you who are trying to get a vision or a goal or something off the ground, I want you to look at the results that you've had so far. Take a look at it. Take a look at it and have an honest conversation with yourself and ask yourself, be very honest with yourself. Am I happy with these results? Am I walking in wisdom? I'm going to say this again. Wisdom is proved right by her actions. So that means, baby, you're supposed to be able to take a step back. I just had to do it this weekend. You think that was comfortable? Very uncomfortable. Take a step back. Look at everything. Look at your finances. Especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs. Hey, Oliver, thank you for the rose, baby. Especially for those who are entrepreneurs. Take a look at the results. And look and say to yourself, am I pleased with these results? Am I walking in wisdom? Because wisdom is proved right by her actions. Does that make sense? So when you think about the example I gave earlier, and I apologize, I guess there's still something wrong with my feed on my YouTube channel. But when you look at the car example that I gave earlier, and I said it's like being on a highway, thank you, Oliver, going 100 miles an hour. And get this, you have the best intentions in the world. Thank you, Oliver. You have the best intentions in the world. You really do. So this is not about having bad intentions, but this is about you under-evaluating the importance of personal development, spiritual enrichment and personal development. Under-evaluate. It's as if you're trying to be your own mechanic and say, well, I can fix it myself. You guys, the reason why I think it is so important that we seek out getting some type of mentoring and some type of coaching. Let me just be clear on this. Sometimes you don't know your blind spots. You don't know the things that you don't know. I've had people in my life, even ministers, elders, coaches, mentors, you name it, that had to point out to me things that someone says, I was just listening to your podcast. You're amazing. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I had to have people point out to me, listen carefully, things that I didn't even see. Like I didn't even know the transmission needed some work. Are you all picking up what I'm laying down? I didn't know the transmission needed some work. I didn't know that the oil needed to be changed, right? I didn't know that I was almost out of windshield wiper fluid or that I needed new brake pads, right? And here I am on this highway going 100 miles an hour and wondering why I keep stalling and keep having to pull over. And so that's almost as if you're trying to achieve these goals and dreams in life, but you're being your own mechanic. You're trying to do it based on what you think is right to do. So I'm coming at you guys a little bit hard because I want you guys to understand it's so important that you work on that mindset and that you work on that personal development. I heard a lady the other day, if you guys know her name, you should put her name in the chat. A lady the other day say, she worded it so well. Gosh, she's from Africa. If you guys know her name, put it in there. But she said something like, it is nearly impossible for entrepreneurs to have the success that they need in life without the personal development. As soon as I heard her say that, I almost jumped out of my chair. I said, I could not agree more with this lady. It is so true. Everybody is out there right now trying to follow any and every program that's thrown their way. And you guys know that I'm right. Am I right or am I right? Everybody is out there. You guys let me know if you can hear me on my YouTube. If you guys can send me a message or something to let me know. Because right now for me, the video is frozen. So let me know if you guys can hear me or not. So I know if I should start it over. But everybody is out there trying to jump on some of everything. Am I right? Am I right? And then you wonder why so many people who are out there doing their thing, whatever it is, you wonder why there's procrastination. You guys, I'm not coming down on anyone. I'm trying to help you. You wonder why there's setbacks at times. You wonder why there's insecurities. You wonder why maybe the thing, the product or service or whatever it is didn't quite work out, or it's not quite going the way you at least hoped it would go. And so then you try to pivot and maybe I should do this. Then you try to pivot and maybe I should do that. You get my point? What I'm trying to get at with you all, and I keep telling you this, I don't know if anyone's listening. The real change comes from within. You've really got to figure out to know, first of all, who are you? What is it that you even want in life? How are you going to be able to walk in alignment with what God even has for you? Then get the help, right? The personal development, the mentoring, the coaching that you need on that mindset. When, as a part of the Unlocking Greatness community, we actually made some changes recently. I want you guys to be aware of this. Someone says, I can hear you just fine. Okay, thank you, baby, because my screen is frozen. I can't see me on the camera, but hopefully you guys can see me as well. One of the changes that we made with Unlocking Greatness, people used to be able to kind of just go there and just sign up for either the personal development or the entrepreneur development, because I teach both sides in case you guys don't know. We recently made a change, and I got some convictions about this. I can't allow anyone to come into the entrepreneur side of the community, and that's where we talk about everything from growing your podcast, growing your social media, getting global reach with your company, your products, your services, trademarking your products. I mean, we go through everything. Just name something. Anything that has to do with growing your platform and generating money for your company. We're not allowing anyone to come in on that side that doesn't agree to get the personal development coaching as well. I can't do it. And you want to know why? Because what I've noticed is all of the people that come in and they just want to focus on Z, the bottom line is, I need to get this business off the ground. I need to make some money. I need to do this. I need to do that. The moment some things come their way, and the moment they get to running, and they didn't check under that hood, and I didn't realize that they're dealing with these insecurities or these pains from the past they haven't dealt with, or this limited cage mindset or whatever it is. The moment those things begin to come, guess what? They start walking in confusion. They start missing out on opportunities that were there for them. They're procrastinating a lot more. And they don't understand, many of them when they very first come in, they don't understand because they think it's sort of a waste of time initially, that the biggest change comes from internally first. Because when this part is right, baby, you show up differently. You show up differently. Someone said, wish I can afford your coaching. I have, today, let me get back to my book really quickly. I have a webinar that I'm doing today at 12 o'clock for all of the people who wanted to inquire about my coaching and mentoring services. Now, I did this initially when I very over a year ago started the program, and I shut it completely down and I just opened it back up again. But today at noon, and I think I'm going to do it again at 6 o'clock today, any new person that is truly concerned and wanting to grow, whether it's personal development, and especially for those who are entrepreneurs or you have a big dream or goal you're trying to do in any way to bring in, more finances or money for your company or what have you. Today at noon, I'm going to be meeting everybody. So if there's anyone that wants to have a conversation with me today at noon and learn more about the services, you can go to my site. That's at unlockinggreatness.com. And right there on the home page, I have a link that says Meet with Z. So if you just click that link and put in your email, you're actually going to be meeting with me today. And I'm going to have a meeting at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. So I actually got to get off of this live in a little bit. So at 12 p.m., Central Standard Time, I'm going to have a meeting today just so I can explain a little bit more in detail, not only the importance of personal development and entrepreneur development and coaching, but also the products and services that I offer, because there's a couple of new things that we're offering now. So for that person that just said that, I would say to you, let me see here. I don't know what these heart things are, but I would say to you to make sure that you get in there. Hang on one second here. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I need to get rid of this. All right, so for those of you who have necessary, I want you all to turn back over to the book again. One second, I'm trying to go back to these. All right, so for those of you who have necessary, turn over to page 170. Let's see here, 178, and we're going to read a little bit from The Price of Elevation, okay? So turn over to page 178. I want to talk a little bit about the price of elevation. Someone says, hello, Miss Z. Hello. And someone says, yeah, there was somebody in here putting up something in there, but I think we got rid of the person. Okay, so The Price of Elevation. Everybody has their book. Turn to page 178. For those of you who don't have my book, you can always go to unlockinggreatness.com and you can get your hand on the audiobook for whatever you want to get it for. But make sure if you want to meet me today at noon, that you go and on that homepage, just enter in your name and your information, and you'll be seeing me in less than 30 minutes. We're going to be on a group webinar call together. Let's read a little bit. Okay, Price of Elevation, page 178. Elevation comes with a price tag, and that price is called detachment. It's not an easy price to pay because we must detach from our will and become less as God becomes more. When God is honored and exalted, listen to this really carefully, you guys. When God is honored and exalted, he defends his integrity and magnifies himself in every area of our lives by calling us higher. This is what it means to elevate. But the question we all must answer is, are you willing to detach to go higher? That's the question. Are you willing to make the necessary changes that you need to make to detach and go higher in life? Or are you going to stay, hang on a second, I'm reading these chats coming through. Are you going to stay driving that car on the highway the way that you've been doing it and wondering why every couple miles you've got to pull over because something's not working right? The engine's not working, the transmission's not working, the brakes are not pumping right because you didn't take the time to get the help that you need. I'm speaking to you all from conviction, and I want you all to please learn from the mistakes that I've made. I didn't grow up with a mindset of understanding how important it is to get that extra mentorship, that extra coaching, that extra development in life. I've always been taught you just need to work your butt off and work hard, trust in God, which I do. Let me be clear on that. Stay in prayer, read your Bible, trust in God, and trust it's all going to work out. I had absolutely no idea the importance of mindset development and coaching and getting the help and guidance that I need. That's why I'm so glad the lady today, and if you guys know her name, you should put it in the chat, the lady from Africa, that's why I'm so glad she made that comment when she said it is nearly impossible to strive in any area of development, especially entrepreneur development, when you neglect the personal development. Because you need that guide, you need that blueprint, you need that structure in life, because there are other people that can see what you don't see. So I just read a little bit from chapter 15, the price of elevation. Let me read on to a next verse in here. I'm on page 178. Sometimes that detachment is from people in our lives who were sent for only a season. Sometimes that detachment is from unhealthy behaviors or bad habits that grieve the Holy Spirit. That's a whole nother subject. Wish I had time to go into. That's Ephesians chapter 4, verse 30. And sometimes we have to detach from ourselves, our wants, our plans, and our desires. That's Luke 14, verse 33. Even though it hurts to detach, I've discovered it hurts even more to refuse to rise and instead, listen to me carefully, you guys, and instead remain stagnant. Let me say that again. Even though it hurts to detach, I've discovered it hurts even more to refuse to rise and instead remain stagnant. It hurts so badly, especially when everything in us wants to stay comfortable, even if comfortable isn't really comfortable at all. It's strange to admit this, but if we are truly honest with ourselves, sometimes we want to hold on to that behavior, meaning those same patterns. Are you all following? Same patterns. Baby, I want you to get out of the patterns that you're in right now. If you're not pleased with the results that you have in your life right now, be humble enough to just take a step back a minute. Evaluate and look at, how am I doing in my finances? How am I doing in my word study or my prayer life? How am I doing in the way I even react to things when things come my way, right? Take a look at it. Now, if you're happy with everything and everything is doing extremely well and you just happy with absolutely everything, then fine, keep on doing what you're doing, baby. But if there's areas in your life that's not working, you have a responsibility not only to pray and get in word study, that's just a given. That's the foundation. That's number one. You have a responsibility to take a step back and say, whoa, this is a particular result in a certain area that I'm not pleased with. I need to get help. Does that make sense, baby? That goes all the way back to that example of driving on a freeway going 100 miles an hour. And you're wondering why you got to keep pulling over on the side of the road because you're being your own mechanic, because you thought you can change the oil by yourself. You thought you can fix the transmission by yourself. You thought, oh, I don't need help. I can fix the windshield wiper blades myself. And you wonder why the windshield wiper blades are not working right and the window's foggy. I'm talking to you all only from conviction. See, I know a lot of people out there. I'm going to finish reading this paragraph and I'm going to close out because I'm about to go get in this webinar in a minute. I know a lot of people, you all, when they go on social media, they make everything look so good and it makes it look like everybody's just doing so well. I'm here to tell you that's not the case, baby. In fact, I would say over half of the amount of coaches out there, and I mean this with love and respect to all of them, when they're out there talking and doing their thing, over half of them are struggling big time and going through things. Yeah, you may be surprised to hear that. So on the outside, it looks like so many people are doing well and everything's going well, right? And so you're out there trying to mimic and doing what they're doing and you're not understanding and realize, wait a minute. It's not that I'm inadequate. It's not that everything that I'm trying to do is not working out because my product or my service isn't good or because I'm not valued. That's what many of us believe, because I used to think that. I used to think, well, is there something wrong with my service or something wrong with this, right? I didn't even realize, wait a minute, whoa. It was me. I needed to adjust. I needed to get that help that I need. I needed to understand, wait a minute, I do have value. I needed to understand I was still holding on to some things from my childhood. I had to pay the price of elevation. I'm going to say this before I close out. I had to pay the price of elevation by having a real honest conversation with myself about the results that were working and the results that were not, and seek out the help that I needed. Seek out the help that I needed. And that took a lot of humility because I did not grow up with that mindset of getting any type of coaching or help or personal development. In fact, that to me came last, to be honest with you, because I was all about, I got to figure out a way to make some money and pay these bills. You guys get my point? And I'm letting you know, baby, when you get that turned around the right way and you get yourself back out on that road, and now you got your fresh new tires, right? Your oil's changed, your transmission's where it needs to be. Now you're able to go with that steady, calm. You notice I said calm? You're able to go in that steady, calm speed, right? And be able to achieve these goals and these dreams you've been working on. But most people, and I'm telling you what I know from experience, most people under-evaluate the importance of getting that personal development. Whether or not you're an entrepreneur don't matter. Most people under-evaluate that. So when I wrote this book from Necessary, and I'm going to close out here in a minute, chapter 15, The Price of Elevation. This was a moment when I realized, oh my goodness, I don't owe anyone an apology for thinking higher and going higher and getting the help that I need. There's a price to pay for elevation. I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to stop doing what's not working. Life is too short for me to be wasting time. I won't even get into that. You guys know how I feel about that. My son is in a gravesite just a few blocks away from me right now. It's too short. So I need to evaluate, look at what's working and what's not, and the areas that I'm not that pleased in. Let me be humble enough to get the help that I need. I'm going to finish reading this paragraph and I'm going to close out. For those who do want to join me in the next 20 minutes at 12 o'clock on the dot, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. I just changed everything around on my site. So you can't go to my website right now and sign up for any service. The way that I've rearranged things, and this is God just really, I just had such an amazing talk with God. Anyway, I won't go into detail, but I'm not allowing right now anyone to come to my site and just go directly there and sign up for stuff. No, I don't. I want to meet you. So if there's anyone seeking personal development, entrepreneur development, I really have to meet you first. I have to. I have to meet you. I got to see, what are your intentions? What are you there for? Are you really willing to pay the price of elevation? Get the help that you need. So today at 12 o'clock, for those who want to join me, I'm going to have a webinar at 12 and at 6. Go to my website at unlockinggreatness.com. Right there on the homepage, you should see a button that says Meet with Z, and you actually would be able to be in a like a webinar. It's going to be a Zoom call. We're going to be on a Zoom call together, and I'm going to spend about 30 minutes with you all. One, getting to know a few of you, and then two, explaining my different levels of products and services that I offer for personal development and for entrepreneur. So that's open for anyone who's serious. If you're not serious, please don't go there. But if you're serious about getting the help you need, go straight to unlockinggreatness.com. The link is in my bio, and just click that button so you can join me on the webinar that we're about to have in a few minutes. Let me finish this last paragraph, and I'm going to read a few comments, and then I'm going to someone says, I can't meet today. I'm going to have it again tomorrow as well, at noon and at 6 p.m. Price of elevation. Let me get to this last paragraph. It's strange to admit this, but if we're truly honest with ourselves, sometimes we want to hold on to that behavior, that person, or that old mindset because it's familiar. Am I right? Or dare I say, safe. And it's during those moments of making those faithful, scary, because I would be lying to you if I told you that it wasn't a scary decision to make when you're making that decision to get the help and work on you. Baby, so much has to change. Some of the people in my mentorship community, you should see some of the things that they're out there doing, and they're like, Z, I've never done a webinar before, but I'm going to do it. Or I'm not used to putting posts up on social media, but I'm going to do it, right? Some of them are launching their own individual products and services. And yes, it's scary, but also there's an excitement about it because you're being called higher. But anyway, let me just end this. It is during those moments of making those faithful, scary, and at times nerve-wracking decisions to let go that we realize it is not only necessary for our spiritual growth, but also necessary to keep us from remaining static with unfulfilled dreams and delayed destinies. Can I get an amen on that one? It's necessary, you guys. And I'm trying my best in just this little bit of time. Someone says, how can I attend the webinar? Just go to my site at unlockinggreatness.com, and right there on the home page, click that button that says Meet with Z, and I'll probably be seeing you in less than 15 minutes. Can anyone relate to this? I'm trying my best to encourage you all. I hear some people. Chantel says, amen. I'm trying my very best with every ounce in my soul. And I told God that this morning. I said, God, I love you so much. And I said, God, I'm sorry that I love your people so much. I care so much about them. Please show me how I can best show up, lift and honor you, and help your people. And I know with certainty, because I get thousands of messages sometimes a day from you all, stating the frustrations and what's going on. Or some of you all are out there doing your thing with your businesses. I love speaking to the entrepreneurs, by the way. Many people are not aware how much experience I have as an entrepreneur. I've been a business owner for really almost 30 years, 28, 29. Anyway, a long time. That's a whole nother subject. I'll just say this. I absolutely love being there and being able to help and guide you all along the way. But what hurts me more than anything is I see the same comments from a lot of people. And the moment you bring up anything about, okay, well, get the help you need, get into some mentoring, some coaching, get that personal development where you meet, that's when it just tends to fall completely off. And people think that that's not the solution. And I'm letting you know it's backwards. When you get this right, and I mean that with love and respect when I say this right, when you get this right, let me start off saying this differently. First, God comes first. Always. Nothing is more important than Bible study and prayer. Let me just say that first. So I'm talking to the people who are already doing that, but frustrated because you still don't see the results in your life. And I'm trying to tell you the answer, the solution. And I think 90-something% of you all may not be picking up what I'm laying down. because you think, okay, I'm going to God in prayer and I'm reading, but why are the results not like, what is it? Am I just not in the right season? As I'm just not, the vast majority of the time, especially when I get to talk to some of you all, and especially for those of you who are already in my mentorship community, you already know because you're going through the whole retreat. I have a 12-week retreat a lot of people are going through. The vast majority of the time, you know what they come to realize? Oh my goodness. All this time it was me. It was my mindset. It was my insecurities. It was me worrying about what people were thinking about me. It was me constantly looking back at the past at what didn't work. It was me not being disciplined enough, right? It was me not believing that I'm worthy of this, of whatever it is, this service or product, whatever it is that I'm offering to the world. All this time it was me. And let me tell you what amazingly happens when that, you guys, I got to close this out. I'm trying my best. God, please speak to your people. Please, 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 please speak to their hearts. Please, God, speak to them. Please. Please. So many times, you guys think it's not God showing up. And I'm just trying to get you to see. Yeah, sometimes God does hide you. There's a chapter in my book called Hidden. There's a chapter in my book called Pruning, when God cuts away all the things that are no longer needed. But I'm not even going to talk about that now. So absolutely there's times when God is hiding your butt, and there's nothing you can do to change it because he's got to mature you. But you notice what I've noticed a lot of the times, my dear brothers and sisters, and I love each and every last one of you all so much. A lot of the times it's us. Limited beliefs, cage mindset, still thinking through the past. Hang on a second here, let me close this out. Still thinking through the past and what didn't work. Insecurities, blind spots that you don't even see because you have no one in your life to really point out to you or even show you. Are you aware you're making decisions based on things from your childhood? That's what happened to me. People had to point some things out to me. So I wish I had more time to talk with you all. I'm going to have a webinar, and by God's grace, I'm going to do this a couple times this week, but today at noon and today at 6 p.m., I'm going to have a webinar, or I should say a Zoom call, and I'm going to be there to meet whoever is considering joining the Unlocking Greatness community. You used to be able to go directly to my site and just join. I don't want to do that anymore. I think it's extremely important that I meet every single person before you dare come into my mentorship program for personal development or entrepreneurship. One, I want to make sure you're serious about doing it. And two, I just want to get a chance to meet you. So if anyone wants to meet me and be a part of this quick 30-minute meeting I'm going to have to explain my products and services, just go to my website. It's at Zenja, it's at unlockinggreatness.com. Right there on the home page, there's a button that says Meet with Z, or it may say Join Z's webinar or something like that. Right there on the home page, all you have to do is put in your name and put in your information so you can get the link for today's meeting. So I got to go because I'm actually meeting with them in less than 10 minutes, and I look forward to meeting some of you all, hopefully in just a little bit. I love you all. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please take some time, my dear brothers and sisters. Pull the car over on the side of the road and look under the hood. Whatever's not working right, don't try to sit there and be your own mechanic. Get the help that you need, okay? My podcast episodes, for those who missed it, it's up on my YouTube right now. I think it's called Take a Look Under the Hood. So you can definitely go and join the YouTube and follow that podcast episode to learn more about it. But hopefully I'll see some of you guys in just a little bit. I really got to close out because I'm meeting at noon. Has this helped you all? Someone says, we love you. Have a blessed day. Let me know, whoever's on this live now, if I'll be seeing some of you all in just the next couple minutes. Ashley says, peace and blessings. Love it, love it, love it. I see some other people coming in here. Alasia says, thank you, Z. Oh, sweetie, you know I love you tremendously. I love you, love you, love you. Someone says, yes, this has helped. Love that. Someone says, you're a blessing from God. Thank you. Whit says, I'm going to attend. Okay, I'll see you in just a few minutes, baby. It's going to be a short little call, about 30 minutes. We'll spend some time together. I'm getting on the podcast. I just missed everything. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Love you. God bless you more and more and more. Thank you, Chantel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mia says, have a blessed day. A lot of insight. Thank you. Someone says, did you say you're having another one this evening? Yes, by God's grace, I'm going to go live. I really got to close this out in the next 10 minutes on a Zoom call. It's going to be just a short call, and I'm going to explain to you all the program I have for personal development and the one I have for entrepreneur development. And I just want to meet you. And then at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, I'm going to do another live and talk with you all. I just want everyone to close this year out in such a positive way. And that's another thing I want to say really quickly. You guys, there's still time to turn things around. There's still time to turn things around. When we get this together, watch and see how you show up differently. Watch and see the calmness that's going to be in your spirit. Watch and see the determination you're going to have as you're taking steps forward. When you really get this part right, and the way you even think about not only God, but the way you even see yourself. So I'm going to talk about a little bit from my program, how I walk you all through these processes that you go through with discovering who you are, learning how to let go of what no longer is needed, learning how to start preparing, and learning how to start walking in mastery. So we're going to talk about all of that. But I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'll just say this, anyone that's an entrepreneur, I challenge you to join this session. Because I don't talk a lot about entrepreneurship, but the people that are inside of my entrepreneur community, they've said to me a number of times, they said, Z, I don't even think a fraction of your followers know how much experience you have as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and how much you've helped the entrepreneur community and how much you've helped us grow. And a couple of the members have said, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on other coaches, and what I'm getting from your program don't even compare. So I don't talk a lot about that. I'm going to change that narrative and really start talking a lot more about entrepreneurship, because I think that's a big thing right now. A lot of people having financial issues, and but inside of my program, the entrepreneurship piece, we absolutely have fun and talk a lot about that. But I love you guys. I've got to get off of this. Someone says, how do I join? Just go to unlockinggreatness.com. The link is in my bio, and all you have to do is just click that button that says meet with Z, and it's going to be a group Zoom call we're going to have really quickly. I've actually got to go because people I think are probably trying to get in it now. Someone says, what is the Zoom call info? I'm not sure what you mean by that, baby, but I'm going to get a chance to meet you all briefly and then talk about the personal development and entrepreneur services. For those of you who don't have Necessary, the copies are available on my site at Unlocking Greatness, and you can get the audiobook for whatever you want. So if you don't have a copy of the book, or if some of you are not really into, I don't I'll be meeting you guys in just a few minutes. I love you guys. I pray this has been helpful. I love you, love you, love you. See everybody in just a few minutes. Bye-bye. All right, let me close on out.